Hello everyone, and welcome back to your weekly spirit messages. I am really excited to bring you the messages today because the inspirations that spirit gave me this morning were just like so true to my heart. But first and foremost, I just wanted to say something. Those who are just so dedicated to watching these videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. I realized last week I turned the comments off somehow, but I still received a lot of emails and DMs on Instagram from you guys that the message resonated, so thank you so much. And I just kind of wanted to follow up on something that occurred during the September energy forecast, the September spirit messages, that I feel can be validated right now. So I've been doing these energy forecasts for my podcast, the monthly ones, for some time, over a year at least now. And this was the first time that spirit gave me something predictive. And what they told me was something along the lines of there's going to be something in the skies in September that everyone's going to be able to see. And so my mind, because I've been so obsessed with aliens my whole life, has been, okay, this is probably going to be like a mass UFO sighting or something. That's what I was really looking forward to. And I did have a lot of clients, a lot of listeners and viewers send me news articles about meteorites and asteroids that are seen for the first time and only time in this lifetime. Something in my intuition was just saying, no, that's not it. And then I was having a conversation with my spirit guides, which is quite an experience for me. One day I'll be able to explain it to you guys how we communicate through thought. But I was having a conversation in bed and I was really sad about the loss of my cat and just like, you know, questioning things as I do with them. They have all my inner workings and dialogue. They know how I think. They know the doubts that come up and how I have to lead myself through them. And so I was going through one of these conversations and my main guide Skylar said, hey Danielle, do you realize what's in the sky? Did we see what's in the sky? I was like, smoke? He's like, smoke. He's like, and everyone can see it, can't they? I was like, I guess so, yeah, because I saw earlier that day that you could see the smoke from space. And then I've had friends even as far as Maine, USA, I'm on the west coast of Canada, say we have the smoke here too. So I do feel like this is it, what they were showing me. I mean, my guide came through saying it was, but I'm still holding out for UFO, literally. That's how hopeful I am. I really want to, I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air if I really want to see it myself or I just want to see like videos of it. But anyways, very, very exciting. So that was kind of cool. We'll see in the future monthly forecast if spirit continues to bring me predictive things, because as a kid growing up, like I love Sylvia Browne and I read 42 of her books before I even left high school, and she used to do these predictive books, like predictions, and the coronavirus was predicted in one of her books, which is kind of crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's worth checking out. And so I always admired people who could boldly and courageously make these kind of predictions, and maybe it's my time now. We'll see. We'll wait and see. But to get on to the energy forecast for September 19th to September 26th, I'm trying to remember what the dates were. One thing Spirit really wanted me to ask you first and foremost is, do you trust yourself? Okay, hear that again. Do you trust yourself? Now, this is very important because so many of us are asking for spiritual guidance. We're asking for departed loved ones. We're asking for angels and spirit guides and ascended masters and, you know, God herself. And we're asking for this guidance. And what Spirit really made me aware of is that there's this energy, you know, that we just don't trust ourselves. So Spirit therefore comes back and says, if you don't trust yourself, how are you going to trust our guidance? And Spirit really wants me to say to you around this is that they are giving you guidance. But until you learn to trust yourself, you will not understand or be able to discern the inspirations that they are gifting you. And this is very important, okay? So this is very important that you look at times in your life where maybe you feel like you made a wrong decision. Maybe there's times in your life that you disappointed yourself. I know for myself, I married almost a complete stranger when I was just a kid, and I remember the regret I felt the day after the wedding. I was like, oh boy, this is not going to end well. And it didn't end well. And I did live in a lot of regret, and I didn't trust myself for many years after that. Like, I don't know if I'm mature enough to make good decisions for my life. There did come a point where I had to transcend that doubt and step into this self-leadership role, because I was old enough that, my parents didn't have as much influence on me, and I was very spiritual. I was very much getting into spiritual things, but I was doubting everything that was coming through, which is why I didn't step into my mediumship path until I trusted myself through the experience of birthing a child. And something within that birth, it was like a phoenix rising moment where I learned that I was a woman. I'm a woman, and women are powerful AF, and therefore I am worthy of trusting my intuition. And that was it. That was the end of it. And I just completely soared into my path after that. And now I help other women transcend that fear. So if you do not fully trust yourself, if you do not fully entrust the whispers of your own heart, your own soul, I encourage you, I implore you to look back at those stories. Why do you not trust yourself? What bad decisions do you feel like you've made in your life that make you doubt your power? So Spirit is really wanting this to be an aspect of the healing this week, because the world's changing. It's changing at rapid paces. And what we see of the world is not great. And it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. And Spirit really wants us to not suffer as much as we have to. And when we are out of alignment with our own intuition and our own inner spirit and inner wisdom, there's a loneliness that happens. And there's this like a loneliness, and we just feel so alone, and we feel left behind. And Spirit's really saying, you don't have to feel left behind. We're here. We're whispering to you. But there's this like energy, it's almost like this aura of doubt around the inspirations that you're receiving. And that they really want you to clear it up, because there's a lot of people going to be making big shifts in the next 6 months. They're making me feel big shifts. Like nothing will look the same again. And that's a good thing, because things weren't working before. They weren't working. So they need you to clear that up as soon as possible so that you can start hearing Spirit's inspirations. And I'm going to give you an example, something that happened last night, because I know it's so easy to hear these like big philosophies and stuff, but if you need some tangible experiences from me on how Spirit communicates with us is, this could be a little bit of a long story. This might be a little bit longer Spirit messages, but it's important I talk about this, and there's a reason why I had this experience last night. So I was with my pendulum at my desk, and the only reason why I use a pendulum is to gauge the energy. I don't use it so much for yes and no, because it hasn't been incredibly accurate for me, to be honest with you. But I was sitting with Spirit. I connected with my cat Bender. I got some beautiful inspirations from Bender, and today they were actually actualized, the things that he was giving me. And I was talking with my grandmother, and I was talking with my Nana, and then I called in Skylar. I said, Skylar, I've been talking to you since I was 7 years old. And the way that you talk to me is through my own thoughts, it's through my own voice. And my arm right now, just so you know, because I know he's near, it feels like a blanket of energy was just draped over my forearm. So it's all tingly. That's my sensation that Spirit's near. When I was crying and I was sorrowful, Bender, it was on my left side. And with Skylar right now, it's on my right side. I can feel him near. It actually makes me really emotional, but I want to cry. But it's important that you know that, so you can look for those signs. I said, Skylar, I don't doubt very much in my life anymore, because my life is magical, but I'm so worried that if I go to heaven and I find out I've made all this up, I made you up, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he speaks back to me, and he was saying, I communicate to you through your thoughts. Simple as that. And you're not making it up. And so it was like really reassuring to me. I'm like, I know, I trust, I have faith. And, you've led me to great places in my life. And so that night I ended up doing yoga, just like a nighttime bedtime yoga routine, because I work out really hard in the morning, so I need that stretching at night before bed. And I did something completely different. I actually moved my lamp from my desk to beside my bed. I opened up this book, right? The Book of Mediums. This is so funny. I put this book beside me. I had no idea why. So this book was written in 1861 by Allan Kardec. He studied the first mediums back in Spiritism days. And I opened it up. I haven't picked it up for a month, right? It's taken me almost 2 years to get like 75% through. I open it up, I read, I turn the page, and the Q&A with Spirit, this is how it was written. It was automatic writing back in the day. They're asking these questions and the Spirit's responding. And what's fascinating about these old books is that in 1861, the language is like something totally different that we experience now. But the replies from Spirit are quite modern. They're quite simple. They're not wrapped up in that lingo from 1861. Well, one of the first things that I read was this question, and Spirit replied saying, Spirit has but one language, and it's thought. And so it transcends all language barriers through thought. And it went on for 2 pages about how Spirit communicates to us through thoughts. I mean, my crown's just tingling right now. So again, I was questioning it even just for a second last night, and Skylar reassured me, and I leaned into faith and trust. Then I was gifted and prompted to pick up this book I haven't picked up in a month and do something completely different outside of my regular routine. And I was gifted validation from my guide that, yes, I'm communicating with you through thought. It's a real thing. And so this is a really important message for you guys from Spirit this week, because you need to find a way to learn to trust yourself. You need to find a way to heal the stories or the experiences that you've had that have led you down a wrong path, which are really the right path, and lean into trust and faith, because what's to come for our world and what's to come for the shift in civilization that we are currently experiencing, it's uncomfortable, but it's beautiful. All transformation is beautiful. You're going to need spiritual guidance to help you to get to your Dharma and where you want to go. So your message this week is to trust yourself. And I love Jen Sincero. She wrote the book You're a Badass, and I just hear her voice in my head saying, trust yourself, unless you got a better idea, right? So hopefully you hit this message in the heart. Hopefully it inspires you. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to get your feedback on what resonated with you. And I look forward to seeing the many shifts for my clients and the people who follow me. Maybe I'll never work with you, but I still love witnessing your journey. And I'm excited to see what's to come for you. All right, lots of love to you guys.